Okay, people. So today I am joined by Lys Vallade and Liane Cho to talk about their new film, Little Amélie. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate that. This film was just delightful. It was fantastic. So yeah, I'm really interested. Maïlys, how did you come to work on this project?
That was by. Oh, it's cutting a bit. I don't know if you ask something. No, it's okay. On entend. Okay. I'm working with Liane Cho since many years now, like 10 years. We began to work in storyboard together. Yes, we had this moment after 2 films together on storyboarding with Rémi Chaillet and with our very special rendering without outlines, like in Little Amélie. And at this time, Liane Cho buy me the book because he loved this book since he was young and really want to adapt it. And at this time, we were really we liked the narrative to be very close to the characters and to work on the foundation of identity and also philosophical and symbolical question of existence. And this really special book from Amélie Nothomb is very singular because Amélie Nothomb is very like mature young baby when she was young, and this book is really sensational for this. Give us a lot of sensorial explosion of sensation. I don't know. So at this time, we were really connected and ask the right to Amélie Nothomb to adapt by our producer, and she give us the free way. She told us that the book are her book are her children, and adaptation of the book are her grandchildren, and she didn't want to interact with the education and of the grandchildren. So we had a free way to adapt this book for our first movie, and it was really yes, a very good thing because it's a very, very challenging book. So
that's for sure. Yeah, as Maïlys said, for me, I discovered the book when I was 19, so that was 23 years ago. My God! And at that time, I was not really a bookworm. I was more like into pop culture, like Japanese animation or even video games. But I was so moved already by the story of this 2.5-year-old little girl, Belgian girl who was born in Japan and who believes she's God. What a crazy concept. And of course, this relationship she have with Nishio-san. So I was so moved by that. And of course, the set, Japan, I love. I love Japanese culture, and of course, post World War. Because 3 years before I watched this crazy movie, incredible movie called The Grave of the Fireflies by Isao Takahata from Studio Ghibli, and which really was is my favorite movie. And of course, it has for me all the ingredients to seduce me, let's say that, and had this dream as young as I was to one day adapt it in animation. And why animation? Because I really believe at that time of the possibilities of the animation. For example, in the book, Amélie walks on the water on the beach sequence, and I was thinking, as naive as I was, no, she should open the sea in two, just like Moses, you know, and yeah, all those crazy phantasmagoric sequence, only animation could translate that. And of course, many years has passed, and of course, as Maïlys said, we met each other during the production of Little Prince. We were both storyboarder, and we had, of course, this great connection because we love to be close to the characters. And this book is very special because with Maïlys, we grew up with really mature themes for, you know, animation movies already since we were kids, actually. And even though the book is not for kids, it's a book for adults. So but it has all the amazing things that we believe that kids could understand, because we believe with Maïlys that kids can understand more than what we think. It's just they just understand maybe in a very different way, more sensitive way, you know, but they do understand, and we shouldn't underestimate them. And that's why this adventure started, because all those themes, you know, the grief, nostalgic empathy, you know, and of course all those magical moments, because we are through the gaze of this brilliant little girl, you know. All ingredients were united for us and for our team, to make this very difficult movie. That's for sure.
and in the beginning, we really wanted together to do a movie for grown-ups. It was not for children in the beginning, and it was a very long debate and question with producers and distributors. They made a big part of all this this question about the movie, and it balanced a lot. The screenwriting took many years because of that, because we must find a good way to work this very special balance and talk about two layers of screenwriting. So
absolutely, and it was, as Maïlys said, the biggest source of conflicts between us and the producers or the distributors, you know, because in this world, everyone has an opinion about what a kid can watch, what a kid can understand, right? So it was really like a challenge to prove, you know, for example, that you had this sequence where Nishio-san and Kashima-san are arguing at the end of around the end of the movie. Amélie, who was in the arm of Nishio-san, and they were scared that the kids won't understand this story about the Second World War. Of course, they don't understand the story of Second World War. They haven't even learned it at school, right? But they can feel the tension in this discussion, in this argument between the two, right? So of course they understand differently. They don't need to understand with the situation; they just understand emotionally. And I think we were right, because a lot of kids, even my kid, when she discovered the movie for the first time, at the end he asked question, why were they arguing together? Because they want to understand, you know. So they were not pulled back from the movie. They were still, you know, dived into, you know, but still, very connected because of
and
those.
Even for the grown-ups too, because absolutely. We were a bit censored for this argument moment in the end, and this writing process for this special triangle between Nishio-san, Kashima-san, and Amélie is very intergenerational connection and intercultural confrontation. It was very complex to find the good balance, also about the violence of how we can tell the thing, how we can because sometimes people just saw our first animatic, and they were very so much. It's a very a big confrontation, big not the good words for this, but it was a lot. So we had to cut a very big part of it to be more efficient and to tell the things, but with the less words as possible, and to be more universal and to talk with every people around the world who are in this situation, to live in a post-war situation and with trauma, and so it was a very difficult one. This one.
Yeah, but also essential, even though, because when you see the world of today, you know, it's true that it has some very important message. Of course, you have the fact that you have this acceptance that everything is not eternal, ephemeral. You know, everything is ephemeral. Everything has an end. That and of course, despite the challenges you can meet in life, you know, like disillusion or death, life is worth living. And of course, we should open ourselves to the world instead of being closed in ourselves, you know, because we are too scared to suffer or too angry to let it go. And of course, you have, of course, yeah, empathy. Probably empathy is for kids, for children, is probably what could solve the worst conflict in the world, hopefully, right? So
and when you are a child, it's naive, but it's idealization. Idealization, it's also, yes, for us grown-up people, all along our life, we need to remain this moment of childhood, that it's not every time like we can hope or we can think. It's always more complex. We need to have all the elements around and understand everything. Try to understand each characters, each people around us, and when all the map is okay around us and we can understand everything, this idealization in the mind of little Amélie in our movie, when we understand that we are in this special gaze and in the eye of this little 2-year-old girl, we are not just in her eye, but really in all her perception. And we experiment euphoria and like different scale of perception. All is idealization in the movie. And when we begin to understand things, size and the space and the distance between things change, and it's more and more realistic in horror movie. We really try to have this connection with things when she touch a thing and a thing, like a chaotic child, and understand every step of life until the moment she will understand everything is more complicated in life.
Absolutely. And it's true that all those positive themes we just mentioned, you know, that's probably the biggest change we had from the book, because the book, you know, at the end of the book, the last sentence is after that, nothing happened. It's like for her, for the book author, she was still stuck in this moment, you know, in this moment of life, this slice of life. And for us, we wanted to, to tell, of course, a very different message to the audience, of course, the kids, but also to the adults, to everyone, actually, that, of course, life is still worth living. Life is beautiful. We should, of course, embrace it, even though all the difficulties we can meet. And yes, that's probably the biggest change also we have made, from the book, among others, of course,
Yes, we have to remain the good things in life, because it's not always that so beautiful, but we must remain.
We have to,
I mean, it works very well, though, you know, and I think that is the big thing, because a lot of times we do think that kids won't understand, right? You treat kids in a way that they're in, you know, candy floss, right? You don't want them to be hurt or see certain things, but kids can cope with that. Kids can definitely understand. And I think the way you told this story was just perfect, right? It wasn't condescending. It was just this really interesting, unique kind of tale with little Amelia, like going through and comprehending these different things. And I think, as you said, you don't need to know everything, right? It's certain things will then be conversation starters, right, for after the film. But during, I think the emotional impact, all of those different things are very clear, and kids will definitely be able to grasp all of that. Yeah, it was very well balanced, very well balanced.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no worries at all. With the changes that you did make to this, for you, what was the probably most important kind of, was there a scene that was the most important to have in this? If you could only have one thing, like this one part of the book that you really were like, we really want people to see this.
Just to be sure of your question, I will ask to translate a bit.
Oui. Alors, s'il y avait une scène du film, du livre que vous pouvez représenter dans le film, quelle scène serait la plus importante?
Il a parlé de changement, de ce qui est changé par rapport au livre.
Ouais.
J'ai cru comprendre ça au début, quoi.
Oui,
Quelque chose qui est...
des changements que vous avez dû faire. Si vous pouvez choisir un moment ou une scène qui sera la plus importante pour vraiment expliquer l'histoire ou bien représenter l'histoire, quelle scène du livre, dans le film, vous regardez?
For me, I have two, and I can separate these two scenes because they are very important. There's the kitchen scene because it determinates a lot. In the book, it's very macabre, very... She spoke about little pieces of her family she found when she dig in the ground. It was very hard to read, and it was when I read the book in the first time, it kept all my attention on this. It's very the heart of the connection between Nishio-san and Amélie, and Amélie asks more and more questions. She's really interested about this very difficult thing Nishio-san going through. So the balance of the gaze of grown-ups and children to yes, this scene adapted for these two, this balance was everything, I think, for the rest of the movie. And for me, the other moments very important when we decide to rewrite the entire movie in the end, because we are going through lot of analyzing reflections, and we were on this guideline of relationship between Nishio-san and Amélie, and we need this very big climax because just before she will fall down and lose her bearings and be very delusionate, and this climax of relationship when she's with the jar, and when all the remembers of Nishio-san just go outside the jar is very, I think the moment it doesn't exist in the book, but it was a very beautiful image to connect all the fundamental things in and the very depth things little Amélie is confronted of. It's the moment of empathy, the moment of she gives very naively something she kept on the beach because she's without Nishio-san. She missed Nishio-san, and Nishio-san just receive it like a very remember her own past. So yes,
Yeah,
for me
absolutely.
it was that.
Yeah, there are very two beautiful scenes, moments, and for me, I would say it will be really the character of Kashima-san. Kashima-san is very different from the book. On the book, she's actually she has even have a completely different role. She's like a second nanny to help Nishio-san, and she's very mean. She's just mean. She's of course from aristocratic, she's an old aristocrat and who has lost everything through the war, and she became very bitter and very mean to Amélie. And actually in the book, she doesn't save Amélie, she just observe her die, so it has a very complete different arc with Kashima-san. But with Maïlys, we really believe that, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, in front of war, we are all losers. We lose, So no matter who you are, even Kashima-san, and of course Kashima-san, we installed this background story. She has, like she has probably a kid she has lost during war, a husband she has lost during war, and of course this son, and of course that somehow I would say explain this bitterness. So of course, Amélie somehow could almost relate to that at the end of the movie when she's under the water, that she understands her sufferness because she suffered the same, and that's probably what we wanted to that's probably the change I have in mind, because at some point, Kashima-san, when she sees at the end of this argument between her and Nishio-san, and she see Amélie, she see Nishio-san leaving and Amélie crying, you could see that the empathy she has for children in general, created something, because you can see a bit of vulnerability at that moment, So and then at the end, it's her who saved Amélie in the water compared to the book, and of course doesn't mean that she has solved all her bitterness, of course, but it's already a first step maybe to that, and that's what we wanted to bring, because Amélie and Nishio-san, they have this very strong relationship, but Kashima-san is also a part of it. Kashima-san and Nishio-san are probably the two sides of the same coin, and Amélie is learning two different things from one to another. So yeah, Kashima-san is probably one of the biggest change we have made from the original book.
Yes, it's stronger. It's very interesting.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Right. Have you had any pushback on the changes that you made?
Sorry, Léonie, can you translate pushback, please? Sorry.
Oui, alors si vous avez eu des conflits avec les changements que vous avez voulu faire.
Des regrets peut-être, ça.
Yes, we had a big one. We talk about it every time, but yes, the book is very tiny, but there's so many thematics and characters, and the father is a very interesting character for Japan, because he was really admired, because he was a big singer of blue eyes, of the traditional sing, je sais pas comment dire, chant japonais.
A song.
Yes, song, and he have a big moment with his daughters, with flooding in the street of Japan, and it's a very beautiful connection with his daughters, and he give a lot of his personality to his girl, and this naivety and this kindness. It was a lot, and in the beginning we really want to have this one in the movie, but we didn't have the time, even the budget, so we had to get, because we choose the relationship between Nishio-san and Amélie, we couldn't explore this arch, and Also, we had a very special moment on the movie where we understand that we had to cut 20 minutes of our animatics after. It's not about the father, but in the movie with just this arch of Nishio-san and Amélie, and it was very difficult to don't lose the film at this moment. And I think we didn't have at this time Killing Your Darling, just a moment when she's very powerful under the storm, and she said, I am the rain. And it was a big scene with a lot of special effects, and we didn't have the budget either, so we must have to cut it, and many other things, but not too important. But it was just like that.
And for me, I mean, maybe one maybe little regret, and even though I think I somehow I've grieved with that, is the use of the Japanese language. In the book, she understands Japanese first before French, and there was probably a way to somehow use Japanese language, you know, and then twist it to French. You had to make some kind of transition so we could be in her point of view when she talks to Nishio-san. But yeah, but otherwise, honestly, today, you know, I think I'm totally fine. I think we have a good balance. There's no problem with that, you know. But yeah, it's just, of course, this because I love Japanese language. I love the musicality of it, you know. But it's just more like a personal thing, you know. But yeah, it was maybe that. But honestly,
and it's also
not really
yes,
anymore.
the choice of Amélie. Yeah. She chose to speak
and,
Japanese before speak French in front of her parents, and she speaks very well. And yes, in the beginning, Liane Cho made the first trying of this sequence, and it's very challenging to switch from for us French and Japanese. And after, yes, we had this problem for translation in other countries and in Japan too. So we accept that we are in the perception of Amélie in the whole movie, so we understand she understands everything. Like
and of course, you have people who ask why you didn't put any Japanese, but somehow, you know, when you see, because it's a father who speaks Japanese in the book, Nishio-san only speaks with the father. She really never really speaks with the mother, you know, and Kashima-san only speaks with the father. There is not really a discussion between Kashima-san and the mother who doesn't speak Japanese. And then it's mostly Kashima-san and Nishio-san speaking together, you know, in front of Amélie. So somehow we can say that the rules are kind of respected, you know, but yeah, it's but other than that, yeah, just Maïlys said, yeah, of course, we made those choices, you know, and today we are, you know, of course, happy with that, you know. But it's true, it's just it was more like a personal thing because of the musicality of it, and as Maïlys said, this powerful choice that also determined her identity, because yeah, she chose to be Japanese, you know, she considered herself as Japanese, you know, until she realized
and
that
it was also because when we write the final screenplay, we had to, it was really like a big Tetris, and we had to change the place of the first word she spoke and it was impossible to keep this in this new structure too. So yes, it was okay because it's impossible to make it in it. So
no, I mean, there's always going to be differences when you go from a different you know, something from one media and you bring it to other medias. There's always going to be that, but I think it's just the way in which you do it, and I think you did do a tremendous job with this. So I think you must be extremely proud, like when this was on the big screen, when you first, you know, screened it, had your premiere, like the reaction of everyone, was it what you envisioned, what you were hoping for?
I think for me, I'm crying interiorly, because it was a big challenge for us too, and for our team too. It was a very hard work and very intensive work when we were in manufacturing for 15 months and 16 months maybe, and we were like at the end of a very big we give, I think, all what we can give in this movie. And when we discover, we try to give emotions in special moments in the movie, but the reaction was a lot of more than we couldn't expect at this time. Sometimes people said that they cry since the beginning because it's joy and beautiful and the colors and euphoria. And sometimes people don't cry, but it's not. But we have many people who have really touched about this and just are very thankful to us. And it's a better gift we can have to when we try to give a very deft message and movie to people. It's we never know how they can manage with this, because all the perceptions are different, and we had this little anxiety to be too violent in the movie, because it was a lot of debates about that with producers and distributors. So we didn't know how it will be received, but no, it was a lot of joy to discover that. It's very powerful. The first time you experiment that, it's very like, oh.
And of course, yeah, we had many premiere. I would probably have two in mind. Of course, the first one was with the book author herself. It was the last day of the final mix, and so we invited her to watch the movie with us. And of course with the distributors, all the partners, because it was a very important moment. She hasn't seen anything since the beginning. So it was really the discovery for this very popular book author in France as well, Amélie Nothomb. And yeah, she was so moved, of course, by the movie, So of course that was a big relief, because it was like either she likes it and we can adapt it from, or either she doesn't like it and we should have written inspired from, So it was really either this or either that, And so we were, of course, very relieved. And of course, the second premiere was with the team, our artistic and production family. You see, like really those people we know for so many years, as Maïlys mentioned, like since Long Way North, with Rémi Chaillet, then Calamity, and then Amélie, little Amélie. And of course, they are really like real human beings, like real human who have put their heart, their guts, and their soul into their work, So of course it was a very a moving moment, this premiere with the team, where everyone discover what they have done, and yes, that was probably because without them, like Maïlys said, it was hectic production. Without these people who know each other pretty well, and the technique, and the kind of movie we are doing, we wouldn't make it. That's for sure. And maybe if there's maybe a third one with Maïlys, when we were in Cannes, of course, it was very special, because we only saw Cannes on TV with Maïlys since we were children, and discovered that
Golden Globes, no?
About Golden Globes.
the big stars.
The stars, yeah. It's
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Absolutely, yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, it was crazy, But Cannes, it's true. Our first premiere in this cinema place, we know Annecy, it's our home almost, but Cannes was just like, oh my God, we just see that on TV, really, and to be in the middle of that, yeah, it was a hell of an experience. That's for sure. Yeah.
And as Liane Cho said, for me, I had just two things very, very powerful for me. Yes, it was the moment with Amélie Nothomb discover the screening, because we really don't know. We change a lot of things in her story, and we just waiting for what her reaction. And for me, it was a bit disturbing, because I know that she lose her dad just a few years before, and we just learn after the screening that she lose her mother too, just months before the screening. So
Right.
it was emotionally intense at this moment, and she was just so great. She has a brain like no other one. She described all the things we change in the movie, and she was go back to see the movie 12 times. We learned that
Nice.
on cinemas, and she understand all what we change, and she talk about the Obon scene in the movie, the celebration, and it's not in the book, but she said she lived that in real. it could be in the book, and she told us, how have you did that? How is this possible? So it was so great. And the second thing was in Japan. We go in Japan for Tokyo International Film Festival, and we met press people, and one of the most risky things when we talk about another culture that yours is really it's not your culture. So we talk about World War situation, and this intergenerational like Nishio-san and Kashima-san, and also class clash between them two, and press people there in Japan was really happy. I don't know if happy is a good word, but they said that it's very rare in movies from them and from Occidental people too, to talk about this intergenerational moment after the World War II in Japan. And it was a big thing there. It was very, difficult for them. And it was one of the biggest compliments we can have, because we were so afraid of to make a mistake of this treatment. So yes, it was surprising and a good thing.
That must be, so good to get those reactions to your work, right? To have people be able to embrace it in that way and comprehend what you're trying to do. Because I think when you're creating things, there is that fear that am I the only one that understands what I'm trying to show, what I'm trying to do here. So when other people see it and buy into it, that just feels great, right? And with
It's
all
great.
of these award talks with the film, I mean, that must be crazy, right? Your film is now being put out there with all of these other great films as being, a potential winner of this award and that award. And how does that feel? Have you comprehended all of that yet?
It's incredible, and it's crazy. It's very important to have a good validation, because on dit validation en anglais.
Yeah. Approval, yeah.
Validation, and yes, also to be understandable, but and also to don't be interpreted as a colonial movie. We really don't want to. It's really not about that it's about international connection and empathy between culture and awareness.
Yeah.
So it was very risky for that. We really don't want to make mistake, and for me, I'm always very afraid of that. So I'm careful, always walk on eggs.
Of course, it's amazing to and it's true. It's very risky, those things. You can see in the Q&As. We are always trying to walk on eggs as well. And but it's true that no, it's really amazing that all the people, were moved. It's not only they liked, they really were moved deeply. And to meet all of them during all our trips we made around the world, with Maïlys. It's fantastic. And a little story is with Maïlys, who just received this prize, the Los Angeles Film Critic Award, and it was during this dinner we had this speech, and we made this speech in front of Paul Thomas Anderson, you see, in front of Philip Kaufman, in front of so many crazy, amazing stars. Of course, it's just completely unbelievable. With Maïlys, we are drawers, we are in the shadow, we work in the shadow, we're not used to those kind of lights, And
for me, I was just happy. It's just, you can imagine that we are you say that, Liane Cho, we are drawers. We are always hide in our little closets. Like we
in a shadow. With our friends, and just talk, have fun, and to do, and then at the end of the
stage with camera.
Not on stage. But the great thing is, even since we did this speech after the Golden Globe, we were waiting for a taxi, and we could see Maïlys spotted Paul Thomas Anderson. I thought, let's do a picture with him. We were a bit drunk and stuff, and and the fun fact is, he recognized us. He said, "Oh yeah, you were there. That's a prize. I really want to watch your movie now." It's crazy. Paul Thomas Anderson wants to watch Little Amélie. And it feels. I don't know what it feels. It feels crazy. You see, it's just, of course, because we are also a small French independent movie makers, with a small budget as well, so we don't play in the same category with those people, right? So it's just funny. Completely crazy to be there.
I think that there is US things, but our movie is buying all around the world, and one of the cutest country I heard, and they are really in love with our movie, is Korea. They are really crazy of our movie, and they told us many questions, and sometimes difficult questions. And it's very interesting to communicate with this kind of people, because they are going through a lot with Japan to them. So it was very interesting, their reaction and how they can connect with the movie too, and very touching. And it's a very big gift to this universal connection. It's huge.
Yeah,
I have no other words. Huge.
It's the power of storytelling. You know what I mean? Like you say you're, you come from this small studio, right? You're in the room with all of these famous people, and how can they, know who you are? But it's like, it's the power of storytelling, right? You tell a great story, people pay notice. You know what I mean? And that's what you have done with this, right? You can put little Amélie up with so many other animated stories and live action too, and you're not going to go, that's a smaller budget, right? You can't see that. The skill in which you handled this, right? The way in which you have told the story, the love you have poured into it, it just resonates. It resonates through, and end up with this powerful, emotional, just like hug of a film.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You know, with Maïlys, we always follow this rule since ever, actually, and mostly, of course, since we work with Rémi Chaillet, and it's also because of the budget, as well as you mentioned, is when we do things, you know, we always try, instead of impress people, we prefer try to move them, because it's also cheaper, right? But in terms of budget, but it's also more powerful somehow
we
as well.
We are really not ashamed about that.
No.
It's really, yes, we love that. We love to have a very strong posing of characters, very precise, as too much movement, and it's expensive, and it didn't express
doesn't express necessarily emotion.
So yes.
Yeah, we are with Maïlys, we are both emotion hunters. We hunt for it. That's what really we try to do since so far, you know, in our storyboard, on Little Prince, and mostly on Long Enough, and also Calamity. And that's our motto, you know, really hunting for emotion.
Yes, and it's difficult to find. It's difficult to build. It takes a lot of energy, but finally, when we just screen the results, even for us, when I cried the first time when we finished the animatic, and it's not in color, it's just potatoes. I said potatoes drawings, but you can feel the things with the amazing work of the storyboard team with us, just to have a coherence, you know. It's magical. It's I love animation cinema for this because we can make some little lines, very little lines, and it can express a lot of things just in a point.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think probably one of the biggest compliment that we have received so far, because talking about animation and cinema, as Maïlys mentioned, is when people say that they forgot that they were watching animation, they were watching cinema, you know, like they could identify themselves to some abstract shapes, drawings, you know, and they can really, feel the humanity inside of those characters. That's probably one of the biggest, amaziest, most amazing compliments we have.
And also we had this really great honor in Spain. It's a good country for that, because they are very aware, and we won best best European film in a overall category with live action movie. It was crazy in San Sebastian Film Festival and in Sevilla Festival. And just to win both of them in front of very great movie like It Was Just an Accident or Sirat or others, it was crazy for us. And I think it's the first time I saw this for this type of film, of feature film we made for all people, grown up and children, and yes, to be in this category, it was very great. We made cinema.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, your work, it just speaks for itself, and I think people oftentimes, when they think animation, they think kids, right? But with something like this, you show the power of animation, right? You just show the power of storytelling. So I'm very happy that you are getting such a reception to this, because it is phenomenal. And I really can't wait to see what you guys do next, because hey, if it's anything like this, I know I'm going to love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your words.
Oh, no worries at all. I know that I've got to let you go shortly, but how can people keep track of everything that you're doing? Like, how can they follow you online and all of that jazz?
We have a simple page. C'est un peu décalé. Ça va. It's okay. We have a page on Instagram. It's little Amélie.film. And on this page, you have all our accounts from Liane Cho, me, and our studios. Everybody. I think it's the simpler way to connect with us. It's by this general page we create and to follow the life of the movie.
Oh, tremendous. Yeah, people, the links will be on the webpage for this episode, so make sure that you go through, check that out, and watch the film. For sure, definitely watch the film. Awesome. And guys, when you are ready to talk about your next one, please come by and we can have another conversation.
Yes.
With pleasure.
With
Thank you so much.
pleasure, of course.
Tremendous. Thank you. And Lonnie, thank you as well for translating and helping out. We really appreciate you giving your time and doing this.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Leonie.
All right, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and yeah.
And cross fingers for next week.
Cross
fingers for next week.
Yeah. We don't have to keep the fingers crossed. I think it's
next week,
right?
It's this week. It's this week. European Film Award.
Yeah. Of course.
Berlin,
there's also this.
In just 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, in 2 days. Yeah, and for Oscars, and then cross finger also for BAFTA, the 27th. So yeah, still finger cross as much as we can. Yes.
Oh man. Well, look, you deserve all of it. Congratulations. And yeah, I look forward to talking to you about future projects at some point.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Yeah.
Take care of you too.
Hi.
Thank you.
Bye.